Welcome in. Kapualani here with your timeless guidance. So, as always, whenever you happen to be seeing this, only take what resonates, leave the rest behind. So, as a note, as I am recording this, as this is shared, it's going to be during the current new moon, which I believe is new moon, Leo new moon, Leo season, and we are in Mercury retrograde. So there's that. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to chime my tuning fork, give us some space to just cleanse, reset, put up some protection. Also, giving us an opportunity to set any goals or intentions you'd like to set for our time together, as well as releasing through the breath as you exhale, releasing anything and everything no longer serving your highest, greatest good and path. As you inhale again, goals, intentions, giving thanks, gratitude, appreciation, calling in the support of our ancestors, your ancestors, and ancient lineages, Mother Earth, Father Sky, God, Source, Creator, Spirit, Light, your higher power, your higher self. All right, so let's do this. Okay, so as a note, if you're new, or just even as a reminder, there will be a part two to this video at www.kapualani.com/extensions. The link to that will be in the description box below and then pinned to the comments. But if you are new and if any of these messages resonate, please give it a like, comment, maybe even consider subscribing if you aren't already subscribed. And to those who have continued to support and to follow myself, my channel, I thank you so, so much, truly and deeply, truly, madly, deeply, with my deepest thanks, gratitude, and appreciation. But nevertheless, let's see what's in the cards for us for this week, this weekly guidance, timeless guidance, spirit. What are we releasing? What are we being released from? Wow, okay. So a few things. Three of Swords, mental conflict, inner conflict, strife, where you're having difficulty being present, to, like, even when it's decision making, just simply put, right? We can be torn between shoulda, woulda, couldas of the past, what if this, what if that of the future, to where it's just very challenging to stay present to the moment and to prioritize what choices, decisions, or actions need to be made in the moment. So be kind to yourself, okay? Any heartache, relationship woes, especially when we see the Three of Swords. Sometimes the Three of Swords can be third party influences. And this doesn't have to be love relationship based, but it can just be where there's just external input that's not helpful, that may only be confusing you. You may even if it's yourself, that you're going to other sources of information to try to make sense of something, to the point where it's like, I just don't know. So we're cycling out of that, luckily, right? And I feel like I love this. Okay, so choices, decisions, significant choices and decisions that you're going to be moving into, or that's what it may have been about. Especially, I want to say, anything that has been prominent, and forgive me for the repetition of this word, the use of this word, but significant for you, whatever has been at the forefront of your focus and what has been at the forefront of your mind, or maybe something that has just been clouding your thoughts because it's just been too much, or things just, I feel like you're worn out. Potentially there could be feelings of, not just conflict and confusion, but areas where your thoughts maybe have become a little, not just, I said conflict and confusion, but oversaturated, to the point where it's like there's, I don't know, I'm getting the word agony, or um an uncertainty about, like, a long or deeply held desire, for forward momentum and progress. But there's a new beginning coming, okay, with this full energy. We got Gemini energy with the Lovers, and we've got Aquarius energy with the Fool. Moving on from times of heartache, sorrow, loneliness, again, conflict, inner conflict, external conflict, um, competing voices, that sort of things, or opinions that you just haven't needed when it comes to bigger decisions that are made. Or if you've been struggling to, you know what I mean? Really just, I'm hearing like the word stick the landing on something, make a decision about something that's going to be a big decision or an important decision. Um, you're moving past that, you're moving out of that. We're going to be embracing this again, new beginning. There's an air of joyfulness that may feel like whatever it is that you're going to be expanding into or moving into, that, you know, in some ways you could feel a little naive or uncertain. But the encouragement is to take a chance. Don't be afraid to take a risk, especially if how should I put, I want to say, if you know inherently that you are supported by like loved ones or friends and even just the universe in general. Okay, like know that for some reason I feel like, in just with this angel energy here, you are being guided from above. Okay, like the star, this angel with the sun and everything, there's divine guidance here. Even, you know, so if you're feeling trapped in your thoughts and going back and forth on something, for example, you're going to clear out of that. So, what is this new beginning bringing? Okay, because sometimes the Fool can be a caution about watching your step, watch where you're going, stranger danger, not, you know, in so many ways, I guess. But what is this Fool bringing? What is some connection to this Fool, or some, there you go, thank you, Spirit, the Hanged One. So we got some major arcanas coming through, seeing things from a different perspective, a new experience, so that you can see yourself, your circumstances, your situation from a different perspective. It speaks to enlightenment, from, in doing something new, sometimes it feels like our world can be turned upside down, especially after a significant shift or move or action that we're having to take. Because the Lovers, it deals with contracts, it deals with commitments. So this could involve another party, another person, or even if it's you and like a job, you know, business, whatnot. It will, you may feel a little bit vulnerable. Okay, don't put yourself on hold for too long. The Hang One and, you know, the Hangman is about taking a conscious shift, or, you know, making a conscious shift to see things from a different perspective. Um, and not just that, but it's also about your own uniqueness, seeing through your own unique perspective. Okay, look at that Prince of Wands, new beginnings, a new way of seeing things, of doing things, untapped and undeveloped potential that's going to be taking off, that you're ushering in, that we're calling in. This is Leo energy. Hanged One, I believe, is Pisces energy. Okay, the Hangman. So any of those signs could have some significance. So we've got again Gemini, Aquarius, Pisces, Leo, I say Leo because of the line here, but to be fair, the fire signs Aries and Sagittarius as well. So these new beginnings, Seven of Pentacles right away before I could even finish the sentence here. Um, Developments are underway. It may not be to the fullest potential of what you're holding space to realize, anticipate, of what you're expecting, but it doesn't mean that it's over. It means that there is slow growth that's happening, perhaps even beyond your awareness. There's part of you that could be a little bit distracted with other things going on, or not necessarily short-sighted, but this is a time for organization, for reflection, to take inventory. Like if you have been with me for a while, I there are certain phrases and things that I use with, you know, certain cards. And so with the Seven of Pentacles, that gardener that's preparing the harvest, it's just like, yeah, I'm getting ready to harvest my garden. Not everything is going to be fully ripened on the vine, right? But you give it a little bit of time and it will be. right? Give it a little bit more time and it will be. It may not look like it's ready, but just give it a little bit of time and it will be. Okay, that's the biggest thing right now. So don't rush ahead. The Page of Wands, the Prince of Wands, is also that messenger energy. We've got messages coming through. We've got unexpected but positive, potentially unexpected but positive new experiences, something that you have time to develop. I feel like, while you have something that's a work in progress, you may be kind of also thinking about or focusing on a new way of doing something, or a new um, activity to engage, new direction to put your focus into. But don't leave your current projects unattended. There may be certain things where you can put them off to the side momentarily, but don't just walk away from them, right? We want to see it through. So again, this is time to get organized. This is the time to take inventory, to take stock of just how far you've come, so that you can get a measure of just how much further you have to go. And you'll see that you're literally almost there. You're making way more progress than you may realize. Okay, and there may be more that's bubbling, getting ready to bubble up from beneath the surface than you realize. Okay, so give us some insight, Spirit, to the Seven of Pentacles. And I do apologize if that's noisy with my shuffling and kind of hitting the table with the cards. I apologize for that if that's a little loud. But Seven of Pentacles relating with, we got too many cards at the bottom. I will reflect on them in a moment. But the Eight of Swords, yeah, there's something in development that you're not quite seeing yet. So don't be disheartened. Okay, you might feel a little bit conflicted, like, do I persist? Remember, with the Seven of Pentacles, it's like, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth my time, energy, and value? Are the people, places, and experiences that I am engaging, that I'm investing my time, energy, and value in, is it worth my while? And how can I make it worth my while? What adjustments can I make necessary? Or do I just kind of cut and run? Or like, this is a matter of, with the gardening, right? Maybe you've heard me say this before, but clearing the debris so that there can be more life force that's being, you know what I mean, to help encourage growth, to help encourage progress. So there's some kind of I feel like the light is coming through, is what I'm getting. Clarity is coming through, the knowingness or the insight, when you have a moment of pause, when you have a moment, even if it's something that externally pushes you into this position of needing to step back and see things from a different perspective, you're going to get like a new lease on life, is what I'm getting. Whatever pain or suffering that you've been through, like, for example, just to keep it simple, like any kind of healing, self-healing that you've been doing, we need time to integrate, to process, understand all that kind of stuff before we can really adopt and step into the new behaviors, right? And in this case, I feel like that's what's happening here. You're stepping into the new normal. Okay, it's like we're not having to go through so much growing pains here. We're stepping into the new normal, like we like. And yeah, there's some growing, but it doesn't have to be so painful. It can seem that way. Forgive me, I don't want to sound hypocritical backtracking here, but spirits, like, remember this Eight of Swords, maybe uncomfortable is more a better word to use, okay, in that regard. But again, you are being divinely guided. Okay, eye on the prize here. With the Eight of Swords, let's remember that at times it can seem as though we're blindfolded. We can't exactly, we can hope for, we can hold space for steps 9 and 10, but until we get there and see it through, we don't really know what it's going to look like, right? And so that's where there's this encouragement, to let things fall into place in their own good time. Like, keep doing the work, keep showing up. If you're feeling a little bit like, okay, things are kind of slowing down, don't go ahead and do something that's going to help to uplift your spirits, whether it's just kind of listening to good music. Shaking things up a little bit never hurt anyone. Okay, there's a bit of like, we're shifting, we're getting ready to shift how we've been doing what we've been doing in terms of growth, okay, and improvements, efficiency, effortlessness, that sort of thing. Okay, but again, moving forward, it may be a little bit like, "Ooh, okay, just got to put a little bit of trust into this and give things a little bit of time." You're not stuck, is the biggest thing. Okay, you are not stuck. It's just about honoring divine time or order to everything with in terms of the developments, but just trust that developments are in fact underway. Okay, so we're going to dive deeper into these messages, and I feel like I want to focus on just any significant timings coming through where you can focus your energy in the meantime. As well, I know I said a little bit there with like the put on good music and whatnot, but just other insights from spirit in terms of what this new moon energy is even going to be bringing up, because some of what I pick up on these energies are like dealing with the retrograde in terms of maybe looking ahead with feelings of and let's not forget these cards. Look at this, temperance. Let me finish that sentence though. Feelings of I'm gonna say confusion, because I'm like, I'm feeling a little confused myself right now, but like a little bit of confusion, disorientation. You're gonna get through it, okay? Got temperance. So focus on healing, focus on the quality of something, of what rather than the quantity only. So it's a little bit of both. Again, divine guidance is here. There's integration and alchemy that's here. We've got a new beginning underway, okay? Strong new beginning, seed that's being planted, Empress energy. It's gonna be fruitful, and whatever it is that you are focusing your intentions on with a new cycle, a new beginning, a new space to invest yourself, you'll be not only fulfilled, you have everything that you need and more, to move forward on that new beginning. And not only that, but there will be swift movement. Things are going to be coming through very quickly. Okay, the steps are going to fall into place one by one, like boom, boom, boom. All right, and that's another eight energy. You got the Eight of Swords there. So we're moving out of the dark and into the light. And even if we're feeling like we're in the dark a little bit, part of what the encouragement is being comfortable. Being comfortable, kind of just holding that space while the universe does the heavy lifting. Okay, so woo, made it, got that message out. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I had to do two takes, right? This is the second reading that I'm doing for this week, because the first reading that I did, it was so awesome, um but my volume wasn't recording, and I'm glad that I noticed that and checked, because that would not have been good. Okay, so anyway, just straight up telling y'all what's been going on here with my Mercury retrograde stuff. Maybe that's me feeling it a little bit here, but we're moving forward and onward to a new clean slate, right? We're looking at this situation from a different perspective, seeing it from different new eyes, right? Having a new attitude, there we go, a new attitude about things, and knowing that we're still growing here, we're still growing, we're still evolving. So let's go to our animal spirit guide energy. And just so you know, in part two, we're going to be looking deeper into the animal spirit guide. Sorry for everybody that's like, I already know the joke of Kapualani, but there are new people who may not. If you have a yes no question, we're going to get some answers from the angels. Okay, so if you have a yes no question, bring that yes no question to part two. Same with the romance angels. Any inquiries about love, we're going to be looking into that. Doesn't have to be about love. I say that every single time. It can be what you're passionate about or just anything at all. See what the angels say. But let's do this thing. And by the way, if you'd like, I also offer live and pre-recorded sessions at my website, kapualani.com. All right, just as a note. But animal spirits, animal spirit guides. What is our message in this moment to align with our current reading? Thank you. Okay. So we've got oyster, we've got scorpion. I don't know that we've ever seen scorpion before. Okay, so there's a treasure with oyster and a pearl of wisdom potentially that you got locked inside. Don't be shy about acknowledging that. And the thing about pearls is that it develops from a grain of sand, right, over time. So something is going to be building up. And there's something also about potentially feeling agitated, short tempered, And I feel that in combination with the Scorpio energy as well. Because, if you imagine sand and it's in the shell, and if you think about an oyster inside, it's like soft and gushy, right? So that's going to be a little bit annoying. So just be mindful of moments where you could be reactive, like watch that tail in terms of being reactive, watch where you kind of okay. And I feel like be mindful of that energy around you and do your best not to personalize it or take it personally, but just to be aware. It's about keeping us on track is what I'm hearing. It's not about hurting anyone or hurting us, hurting ourselves, but it is about just kind of staying on track is what I'm hearing. And awakening, it does deal with awakening, and sometimes it's like a rude awakening is what I'm getting. But if we can shift our perspective, if we can remove ourselves, and actually this is also about redefining how you've gone about doing what you've been doing. You know what I mean? Looking at yourself from a new perspective, a new light here. So I'm going to put these cards here like I do, and just any other guidance from spirit before we close up. In part two, I am holding space for just intention setting, and maybe, fingers crossed, and I apologize guys in advance. I want to deliver on this, but doing a short guided meditation, so maybe a little new moon workshop for us, to just have some support, and just being mindful that we are in a Mercury retrograde, so I know that that can have an impact on intention setting, but we'll see what comes through from spirit. When I do guided meditation, I guess we're going to be doing that. So I encourage you again to, and just as a reminder, with that part two and the extension portion, it is a pay what you can. So I offer it suggested at $1.11, but whatever feels savvy, whatever you can. Very little to no risk in that regard. But I thank you so, so much for being here. And for those again who have been returning and continuing to support myself and the channel here, so much gratitude and appreciation to you. All right. I will see you in part two. I will see you next time. Thank you so, so much.